A very good evening, viewer. It's the 28th of July 2024. You're most welcome to the Nowcast, only on West Nile Television, where we give you the highlights of the news bulletins of the week every Sunday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. My name's Okumuringa Christine. Let's dive straight into the stories that are made headlines throughout the week. There was calm in Arua City on Thursday, the 25th of July 2024, amidst heavy deployment of security personnel across the entrances of Arua City and Central Police Station premises, following speculations of a planned graft protest by a section of some youths in the city. According to information from reliable sources, the youths had intentions of moving to City Hall to express their grievances against corruption in the country. Farish Majid reports.
Following the recent demonstrations by a group of youths who had intended to march to Parliament in protest against the institution over the rampant cases of corruption in the country, there were anticipations that the same will take place in Arua City today on 25th of July 2024. And to cap these planned demonstrations in Arua City, where the youths intended to march to the City Hall, there was heavy deployment of security forces of the military and police to prevent the protest from taking place. Access to the City Council offices and the Arua Central Police Station were restricted, with men in uniform checking whoever is to access the premises. Senior Superintendent of Police Josephine Anguchia, the West Nile Regional Police spokesperson, confirms that the deployment is to prevent any likely demonstrations since they are not aware of it.
You know, demonstrations are supposed to be guided. They are to be guided, and the area police is to be informed about it, but we were not officially informed on that. We saw the information on social media. So against that background, we have made deployments to ensure that such a kind of movement should not take place in Arua City, because there was no prior information given to security. It was just on social media, and so the deployments are on just to prevent any eventuality from happening.
Some of the disgruntled youth spearheading the campaign against corruption in the city raised their concerns as these.
It is true that our generation is faced with a lot of issues, of which corruption is the main agenda. We know that in Uganda we need development, we need good health services and so many other things. But due to corruption we are seeing a deficiency in the services that we are getting from all the departments. As said earlier on, we joined the country and everyone in saying that let's say no to corruption, and we need a corruption-free Uganda so that our future generation can benefit from these protests.
Corruption affects equally all of us. The effects of corruption are long-term. The reason why we are fighting against corruption is that even the money we pay through our taxes, the donations, even part of the money that is being routed is from the loans that we borrow every year, and there's no accountability for that money. We spend a lot of money on this Parliament of Uganda. Almost every year we lose 11 trillion Ugandan shillings, 11 trillion Ugandan shillings to corruption only. 11 trillion can actually turn our economy from a third world economy to a middle income status within only 2 years. It is totally sad for us people from West Nile that even the office of the Speaker and office of Deputy Speaker and the commissioners, they are funded more than an entire region.
Meanwhile, the disgruntled youth also made the following demands to the state.
Our demands are that the size of the parliament must be reduced. We do not deserve to have all the members of parliament in that number. We also have a clear demand that the Speaker of the Republic of Uganda must resign, because she has been cited on numerous occasions in corruption scandal, and she doesn't want the corruption issues to be debated in Parliament. The other demand of us as young people of this country is that we need Parliament, the members of Parliament salaries to be reduced. We don't see any justification of the amount of money they're earning.
We are demanding that the fellow colleagues who have been arrested in the streets of Kampala, the likes of Maseruka, the 89th Guild of Makerere, the Wandukwa Simons, the Musirus, they have to be released. Because looking at the things yesterday, these people marched peacefully in the streets of Kampala. They didn't do anything. So why to keep them behind the bars in Luzira?
Charles Ichogor, the Arua Resident City Commissioner, cautioned the young people against demonstrations as he appealed to them to use the right channels in addressing their grievances.
Uganda as a country is one of the countries that is well governed in the whole world. So there are structures where you can relay, where you can dialogue to send your grievances. We are not going to tolerate, I want to make this one categorically clear, we are not going to tolerate anybody, anyone who is going to stabilize the peace we have now got here in Arua City. I think you journalists now are feeling the peace and the ambience within the city. Anybody trying to infiltrate Arua City will not be tolerated.
As a result of the growing anti-graft protests across the country, the Speaker of the 11th Parliament, Right Honorable Anita Mong, has suspended this week's plenary sessions, where the House will now be expected to resume with normal business on July 30th of 2024. Farish Majid, Okumuringa Christine, West Nile TV, Nilcast.
And more in our stories, 12 priests and 3 deacons were ordained under Arua Diocese on the 27th of July 2024 in a joyous ceremony that brought together local and international parish priests, the local government leaders, members of parliament, ministers and Christians of all walks of life to witness the grand occasion. Take a look. There was joyous dancing, prayer and offerings at Ejiofor Cathedral in Arua City as thousands of Christians, parish priests from their denominations, local government leaders, cultural leaders, members of parliament, ministers and well-wishers converged to witness the ordination of 12 priests and 3 deacons that will be serving God under the Arua Diocese, which took place on the 27th of July 2024. The 15 ordained were anointed, assigned to their duty stations, and awarded mass kits as their instrument of service by the main celebrant, Right Reverend Sabina Ochan Odoki, the Bishop Ordinary of Arua Diocese, together with the different invited local and international parish priests, whom also laid their hands in prayer of blessings to the newly ordained as they enter into priesthood. Sabina Ochan Odoki, the Bishop Ordinary of Arua Diocese, in his remarks urged the newly ordained to maintain closeness to God through communion with prayer and sacraments, closeness to the bishop, fellow priests and people of God.
You are being ordained at a time when we have a very important synod. The synod of synodality. We are going to be priests and missionaries of synodality. The Holy Father is insisting so much that the church must become synodal. That means the church must move together. We must move together. We must consult each other on every matter as we move together. Because without that, we shall fail to move together. To be always close to God. A priest who is not close to God, I'm sure cannot be a true priest. Will be a fake priest. Closeness to God is seen in prayer. Closeness to God is seen in a celebration of sacraments. A priest must have closeness to the bishop. To the bishop. The bishop represents the church in entirety. Seek always to be close to fellow priests. Where you hear priests are gathering, that's where you should be. And your priesthood will go very well. To function well as a priest, you have to be close to the people of God. That's where you go to do your work as a minister of the church. Closeness to the people in celebrating sacraments, closeness to the people in guiding them in the way of the church will make you a good priest.
Bishop Sabina Ochan Odoki further appealed to the Christians to continue supporting the newly ordained priests as they begin their work of priesthood in their communities.
I want to appeal to our Christians and people of goodwill to support, to continue supporting these candidates who are about to be ordained. So it is upon you to support these people and all of us. Whatever we have They are yours. We only use them to serve you.
Honorable Biga Mario Kanya, the State Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, in an interview with the press, urged the church to join hands together with the government to promote the welfare of the people by promoting income-generating activities to fight against poverty in their communities.
My charge to them is now that they've come to serve the people, I would like the church to look at human beings as a whole. People in their totality. There's the spiritual aspect, but also we all know that a good spirit dwells in a good body. So my appeal is that we should join hands together with the government to promote the welfare of the people, the income generating capacity of people. You know, the local people listen quite a lot to priests. They trust them, and generally all religious leaders. So I want them to use this opportunity to encourage our people to fight poverty, to be hardworking, so that everybody has a source of income. What we call nani, something which they should use for eating, for making income. So let's promote the concept of nani to everybody, not only the spirit, but nani as well for the body.
Today, Arua Diocese has added the number of priests, increasing the number to over 200 priests within the diocese, with an addition erection of a new parish called Ezu Sub-Parish. Okomuringa Christine, for West Nile Television, Nilecast. The construction works of the Electoral Commission Regional Center for the West Nile region is progressing well, with reports indicating that it has reached over 40%. The works are being overlooked by NEC Construction Work and Engineering, which started in 2015. Benson Pastore reports.
Stakeholders are overwhelmed with joyous construction of Arua Regional Center for Electoral Commission register steady and faster progress, as the project now stands at 40% according to the site engineer. This project was launched and contracted to NEC Construction Work and Engineering on 15th of December 2023 with contract number of ECWRKS/22-93/00362 and at a contract amount of over 4.6 billion, which is expected to run for one full year till 15th of December 2024. Alfred Nwamanya, the site engineer NEC Construction Work and Engineering for Arua Regional Center for Electoral Commission Construction Project, highlights the stakeholders about the background of the project and its progress.
Contract duration is 12 months. So far we have taken 6 months, and we expect the contractual site handover is on 15th December 2024. But as we had proposed, we much as we had contracted like that, but we are of the view of handing it to you much earlier.
Justice Simon Mugenyi Byabakama, Electoral Commission Chairman, appreciates the NEC Construction Work and Engineering for the tremendous work and also appreciates government for funding the project.
What we have observed here is quite impressive. We want to commend NEC Works for the good work they are doing, and they are doing it in time. They have assured us that they intend to deliver the work as earlier projected. And from what we see, I have no reason to doubt that they will live to that commitment. So we really want to thank the team of NEC Works for what we have observed here. We also intend to replicate this to other parts of the country. We have 12 regions as EC in the country. Our West Nile is just one of them. We pray and hope that government will have the requisite resources to enable us to replicate this project to other parts of the country.
He further updates the stakeholders on how this facility will help to ease the electoral process in the region.
Now we think this is going to improve, one, on the quality of our work, You can see this warehouse in the background. We are going to safely and properly store the electoral materials before and even after the electoral processes are concluded. Our staff, I think, are going to have ample sitting space with good space for our stakeholders. The establishment of this facility in the West Nile region, as I said, is an indicator of the seriousness of the Commission, of ensuring that the people of Uganda have confidence in the Commission to start with. We have a permanent home. Our stakeholders will come in a facility that is welcoming, that is comfortable, because we are saying that nominations will be comfortably done from here.
Charles Ichogor, the resident city commissioner for Arua City, similarly appreciates NILE construction work and engineering for the brilliant work and says this is the first time he has not had an seen extension in a project.
I've been monitoring projects in my tour of duty as RDC and RCC. It is very rare to get a project that is implemented the way NEC has done. This is the first project I've visited and there is no extension. The vocabulary of extension is not there. The vocabulary that is there is delivering and handing over. Okay. I thank you very much. EC, Chair and your team, we are very grateful. This is going to be our example. The team for Arua, this building has added value to Arua City. And it's going to be, we are going to profile it as a tourist attraction. It's going to be a tourist attraction for Arua City.
This is the first of its kind. A regional electoral center is constructed and a similar project is expected to spread its wings in the other parts of the country, and NEC construction work and engineering is responsible for handling construction works for armed forces, government departments and private sectors. Orak Benson Pastore, West Nile Television Nilecast.
The Inspectorate of Government conducted a monitoring and inspection of the development response to displacement impact projects Dr. Deep's closure activities in Obongi District. Onzima Allen reports.
Development response to displacement impact project Dr. Deep is a multi-million Ugandan government project designed to address the development needs for refugees and their host communities, with its major objectives to improve access to basic social services, expand economic opportunities, and enhance environmental management in refugee hosting districts. During the visitation exercise on 20th July 2024 at Obongi District, the Inspectorate of Government team led by Deputy Inspector General of Government IGG inspected some of the sub-projects under Dr. Deep, such as the Intensive Care Unit ICU and medical emergencies at Obongi General Hospital, later to District Abattoir, which is still under construction and is not yet complete. Dr. Akiria Ashien Patricia, the Deputy Inspector General of Government, Deputy IGG, confirmed their monitoring, saying they have realized that some projects are lagging behind due to resource issues and limited funds.
Closure activities in Obongi, and we discovered that out of the 300 or so projects, there were some 7 that had lagged behind because of certain challenges to do with resources, and then the capacity of the contractor, and also the fact that the contractors are obtained from the headquarters by Office of the Prime Minister. But we have been encouraging them to work in close consultation with the community, because this is about service delivery, and we would like the district to serve this government by monitoring this service delivery so closely, because at the end of the day, it is the ordinary person who is affected if these projects are not completed in time. And the project completion has got a big positive boost, because in terms of trade, in terms of social well-being of the people, in terms of access to facilities, the citizens will be able to enjoy the facilities.
She added that the visit is to find solutions to the challenges so that residents can have quality services and encourage the contractors to ensure quality, not shoddy works.
So our visit here is basically to discuss solutions to the problems of delay, and also encourage them to work in close consultation with the communities, because it is the communities who know what they need. It's the communities who know services they require as priority. And the community now, we have given them information to be able to demand for accountability from the service providers directly, because they have to demand from an informed perspective. So the community knows what exactly it is the district is doing for them, what exactly it is they're getting from the Dr. Deep project. But we encourage the technocrats, the leadership, to enhance supervision, to ensure that timeliness and even the quality of the services they are offering is up to date, not just to do shoddy.
According to Data Peter Taban, the resident district commissioner, Ajumani, government has provided security which is enabling development of such projects in the country.
The first thing is the security of the people. Today, if we see what is happening in Uganda, you really realize that there is government in place that has given us security, and because of this security, we are able to do all what we are doing now, because we are protected, we are provided, and we are taken care of. I think we really need to appreciate this government, because without this government, we cannot do what we are talking about now. And in infrastructure development, Dr. Deep comes in handy. We have seen things like roads, we have seen things like construction of bridges, we have seen things like hospitals being worked on, we have seen things like schools being worked on, and all these trainings and so on. This is what the government is trying to put in place.
Peter Taban, however, calls on people to use such projects to sustain themselves through improved livelihood.
The economic development of the people, so that the people can change. Dr. Deep has come running these projects. We have seen the environmental part of it. We have seen how they support the irrigation system. Usually here we get food from elsewhere, but with the system that is put in place, during the dry season we still have crops going on. And this is all to build our families, to build ourselves, and to build our pockets.
Honorable Anyama Ben, the local council 5 Ajumani district, says all the programs are well implemented by the district except those managed by the office of the Prime Minister.
There are projects which are awarded by the community in the district which we supervise, and the projects which are awarded by OPM in Kampala. That's why it must be very clear in the record. There are 7 projects which are uncompleted. The district is responsible for only 1, and that is the abattoir. The rest are awarded by OPM Kampala. We don't have powers and authority much over it. But the rest of the projects, 99.9%, which were handled by the land and ourselves, are complete. We have to clap ourselves.
The Office of Inspectorate of Government (IGG) is mandated to carry out inspection and monitoring of government programs to ensure transparency, accountability, effective service delivery, and value for government money. Peace Ushaki, Unjima Alan, West Nile Television, Nilecast.
His Grace Right Reverend Raphael Ponyo-Wokorach has tasked the school administration to use the available school lands for production so as to save on the schools from expenditures like food, rather use the money for other development activities. Alfred Jawok reports.
As the seasons change, the school garden continues to grow, nurturing young minds and inspiring a love for nature. The Archbishop of Gulu Archdiocese, His Grace Raphael Ponyo-Wokorach, has appealed to school administrators to make use of available school land to produce food for learners. The Archbishop made this revelation recently during his first pastoral visit at St. Peter's College Wargals since he was consecrated as Archbishop of Gulu Archdiocese. He noted that schools have land which can be used for food production to reduce the cost of buying foods from other suppliers.
Dear girls of war, how do you look at our land? Is it better when it is idle or when it is being used for planting things that we can use for feeding? And who should do that? Can we cooperate in that? Yes. Let us be ahead. Let us show to other schools that life is not only reading books. I know when you read a book, after that, you cry, your stomach complains, and what else? You need to eat. So I will pray that this our... Hello, sir. Are you okay? That these our places, our schools, were girls, next time we come, let us see that all around, no bushes, just food.
He added that much of school expenditure goes for feeding, affecting the smooth running of the school.
I did not look at the budget of all the schools, but most of those that I went through. You see that much of the expenditure of what the school has at hand goes for feeding, besides salary. Feeding. And you cannot do without food.
In the meantime, Honorable Kwichin Grace Freedom, Senior Presidential Advisor, used the same event to engage the Association of All Girls of the school to support learners to achieve their goals.
We want to continue to progress slowly but surely. So we are going to come back and talk to you. He promised to call us. He promised to call our girls, all girls, so that we can sit and find a way forward.
Honorable Kwichin added that the students can perform better than last year through hard work and commitment.
That we can perform better than last year. We have appreciated you so much because the headmaster told me that the performance is progressing. Since he came here, the performance has been slowly progressing, but we do not want to go back.
This highlights the benefits of school gardens, showcasing their impact on students' learning, personal growth, and community engagement, as it celebrates the joy of gardening and the importance of connecting with nature. Alfred Jawok, West Nile TV, Nilecast.
The general public in the West Nile region has been warned against putting on military attires or it's being charged for being in possession of government stores. This warning was issued by Mr. Masambu John, the Regional Internal Security Officer for the Northwest Nile region, on Friday the 26th of July 2024. Take a look.
The warning comes after the Deputy Director of Defense, Information and Communications, Colonel Deo Akiki, said the Uganda People's Defense Forces has put in place military traffic officers who will work hand in hand with the traffic police officers so as to reduce on the crimes committed by some individuals who pretend to be military officers driving with military attires in their vehicles and in most cases violate traffic rules and live without being charged for crimes they commit. Mr. Masambu John, the Regional Internal Security Officer for Northwest Nile region, has warned the public to desist from wearing the military attires or risk being prosecuted in the courts of law, adding that the Military Act doesn't allow civilians to put on military attires or clothes which are similar to that of the military.
Like, for example, putting on jungle boots, those jungle boots which are military. There are those ones which are for industrial, but these ones are for military, including uniforms. Not only uniform for military, but even for police. People put on and they commit crimes. So there is UPDF Act, which preserves, which protects the uniforms to be a preserve of UPDF. And once you are caught with them, of course, you are charged in the law as having been got with the government stores.
Superintendent of Police, Ragude Ignatius, the Police Public Relations Officer for Northwest Nile region, however, re-echoed the same warning to the youth, saying if they are in love with the attires, they should apply to join the forces so that they will enjoy their uniforms without any problems.
It is good when they like putting on the uniform. That is when the UPDF police is recruiting, you must have to apply and follow procedure. And when you qualify the standard, you have to go and enjoy your uniform.
Mr. Gore Goffin, the resident district commissioner Moyo, who doubles as the chairman security committee of the district, said the attires are a preserve of the army and therefore it's wrong for the civilians to wear them, adding that some people wear the uniforms as a way of identifying with the army, which was never the case in the past regimes.
So it is very wrong for a civilian to put on. The moment you put on it, automatically we will assume you are one of them, only to discover you are not. So this is where the law is very clear. But also on the other hand, the fact that we've been seeing civilians associating themselves with the military attires, some of these civilians are doing it because of the way the army and the armed forces have related with the civilians. It has now become a pride to associate yourself with them. But in the history of Uganda, it was not expected.
According to the information obtained on ground, many people, especially the youth, like putting on military attires or clothes which look alike for prestige. Others put on it unknowingly. Meanwhile, others put on it with the intention to commit crime and destroy the reputation of the armed forces. It's upon this background that the security bosses came out to warn the public against wearing or being in possession of the military attires. Dominic Anthony Okumu, West Nile TV, Nilecast.
A section of angry market vendors from Marain Market are appealing for help from the relevant authorities following continuous disturbance from the absentee landlords, which is threatening to cost their businesses. According to the traders, the absentee landlords are exorbitantly demanding for rent money from them where they fail to pay. They are being threatened with evictions, yet they are supposed to pay to the city council. Take a look.
A section of disgruntled tenants from Marain Market have raised concern over continuous disturbance from their former landlords, who are overcharging and threatening to evict them out of the stores, which they claim ownership of, despite the several warnings from the relevant authorities, most especially through the enactment of the Market Act, which among others prohibits subletting of the facilities, where money has to be paid directly to city leadership. Some of the former landlords have continued to pick money from their tenants at the market. Bidal Joseph, a dealer of foodstuffs at the facility, who is also affected by the challenges, says the absentee landlords have locked his facility for almost a week now after failing to reach a consensus over payment.
What I have paid for him cash is for 18 months, and before paying that one, he was telling me that before getting this house, he have paid money, 24 million, so I support to return that money back, 25 million. From there, I give him 9 million, and the time city council came that we support to pay there, I didn't pay that money again. That is the problem now, is coming back to the house.
Atibo Vincent, a vendor of cosmetics whose stall has also been affected, is now counting losses ever since his lockup got closed by the absentee landlord.
The money we make daily here is not less than $1 million, and I can prove it by the sale records which we have. If at all I'm given a chance, we can get it inside there. So for the 1 week, we have not working, so our account not less than 7 million.
Atibo is now appealing for help from the relevant authorities in addressing the matter.
We are calling upon the government and other stakeholders to come in to help us. This is one way of participating in corruption. This is a sign of corruption. And the government is aware that these are government premises, they are not supposed to have landlords. But if somebody comes to claim to be a landlord of this place and the government is there, so we call upon them to come in and we fight this together. Because this is, this is a home for us, this is where we were born, and we have children here, and perhaps I'll die and leave children here. So it is our responsibility as the community, as parents, and the government to fight for this. If we don't do that, this city of ours will be taken over by thieves and we shall have no way.
Similarly, Aikoro Agnes, another vendor dealing in agro inputs, is calling for urgent intervention from the relevant authorities to address the matter since they are not safe from the absentee landlords.
Yeah, some of them, like my neighbor here, he's still demanding money that he did not get that room for free. He got it at a cost of 25 million, so he needs money. If they can't give him the money, then the sitting tenant has to vacate and leave his room. So these things, today it happens here, you find another one tomorrow there, the other day it is there. So all of them are unsettled.
Meanwhile, Drakuma Malik, the town clerk of Central Division, cautioned the absentee landlords against the act of intimidation and extortion from the market.
These markets talk of the taxi park, talk of the main market, talk of the Gaga textile market. The landlord is City Council. Whoever is making use of the facilities in these markets, these public markets, they are tenants to Arua City Council. This should be understood very clearly.
Musaid Kemis, the mayor of Central Division, condemns the act of closing doors for tenants by the absentee landlords, as instead calls for dialogue between the parties.
To me, the issue is not throwing those people away. The best solution should have been now, they should reconcile. Because we gave the rooms to the landlords, they again went ahead and disably, and the law does not allow that. The law is very clear about that. In actual sense, there is no way they will come and lock those.
The disgruntled tenants who have been affected by the acts of the errant absentee landlords have raised the matter before the resident city commissioner's office, awaiting to get help. Farish Majid, West Nile TV, Nalcast.
2 staff members from Pakwach district have been arrested after failing to account for 200 million shillings. The arrest comes at a time when the country is bustling with corruption of public funds. Alfred Jawok reports.
2 staff members from Pakwach district local government have been arrested after failing to account for 200 million shillings. The 2 staff are identified as Anena Rachel Mary, Senior Assistant Secretary, and Frank Odoma, Sub-Accountant. The arrest comes at the time when this country is battling with corruption of public funds. Pakwach Resident District Commissioner Mr. Paulo Sero confirmed the arrest and said the suspects are set to appear in the anti-corruption court in Kampala tomorrow.
Yeah, it's very true. This morning, 2 staffs, senior civil servants of Pakwach District Local Government, were arrested on allegations of the sub-county accountant, that is Mr. Frank Odoma.
According to Esero, the arrest followed continued complaints on the allegations of mismanagement of funds under the revenue sharing from Uganda Wildlife Authority and District Discretionary Equalization Grant DDEG during the financial year 2021-2022.
They mismanaged the funds. First and foremost, there is 16.3 million which was meant for retention to be paid to contractors. Then also there are other monies almost amounting to 67 million which these people cannot provide proper accountability.
Following the Pakwach District Auditor's report dated 20th June 2024, the DU did not satisfactorily provide accountability for funds amounting to over 200 million and did not pay attention to providers worth 16 million.
Audits were done and it showed that there was a lot of financial impropriety. And the good thing, a criminal case was opened against these people. The file was sent to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions for legal guidance. The guidance from the Director of Public Prosecutions was a directive. He sanctioned the file and directed the police to arrest these people. So this morning they were all arrested and they are going to be taken to Kampala to be tried in the anti-corruption court.
West Nile TV noted that this occurred when the DU were entrusted with the responsibilities of managing Pakwach Sub-County in Pakwach District. Anena Rachel Mary, as Senior Assistant Secretary or Sub-County Chief, and Odoma Frank, as Sub-Accountant. By the time of the arrest, Anena was posted in Panyimutan Council as Sub-County Chief and Frank Odoma was redeployed has a revenue officer in the district. Recently, Pakwach District conducted a complete overhaul and transfers of staff across the district to improve service deliveries. Alfred Jawok, West Nile TV, Nile Cast.
The Deputy Inspector General of Government, Dr. Patricia Achan, who has been crowned the new patron of the Acholi Students' Union, has called upon the university students to raise a corruption-free generation with the high sense of integrity by mentoring young ones in both primary and secondary schools to be responsible citizens while respecting their traditional values. Stephen Okello reports.
The new patron of Acholi Student Union, Dr. Patricia Chan Okorio, urges students to always respect their traditional value to enable them set up a corruption-free generation.
We talk about academic excellence, we talk about the contribution they make in the society, especially in the fight against corruption. We talk about issues to do with integrity and living with actually principles and values right from home and spread into the institutions of learning.
Dr. Patricia also advised different student clubs and society in various schools to use their platform to sensitize their colleagues on the danger of plagiarism and cheating exam because the two are intertwined with corruptions.
We need to develop good networks first of all, good morals, truthfulness, honesty and integrity. Integrity is the bedrock of one's character. If we are to be students of integrity, know that life will be as simple for you out there.
For effective mentorship of young ones at secondary school level, like Adoraj Prosekesi, are given opportunity to express themselves in a panel discussions like this.
In my school, many girls they take education as if it's a barrier in their life because they don't begin in their life. Now, the purpose of education in their life is to remove that fears. It is to reduce that poverty. It is to make them to think that yes, they are the best in their life.
To prepare young ones for a better future, Acholi Student Union has drawn their focus to support the young ones at both primary and secondary schools.
We believe it's going to be more effective to actually start grooming the young people from down so that as they join the university, they know what they are going to face, they know how to face them, and they can be ready for the world outside there. And that's why we look into consideration of involving the young students from secondary schools within Acholi sub-region and basically also having projects to encourage people in the primary school so that as the young people are growing up, they grow up with the mentality of being the people we want to desire. Because trust me, right now, changing someone from university level or someone above 18 is very hard.
The Vice Chancellor of Gulu University, Professor George Openjurulada, says despite mentoring young ones, this union can also act as the best networking point to transit these students from schools to job markets.
They will be coordinating with each other. These networks, then in the different universities, they support one another. You go and get a colleague in the interview panel, can inform you about opportunities, you go and participate. And it will help uplift education in the sub-region, and that is the most important.
Amid this high poverty index, which is affecting the standard of education in this region, Acholi Student Union is enlightening those in school to value the role of education in the development of the regions. Stephen Okello for West Nile Television, Nile Cast.
The members of parliament in Obongi District are demanding for that the district should be connected to power from the national grid. The two members of parliament in the district made their requests through Honorable Obiga Mario Kanya, the State Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, during a visit to the district. Okumu Dominic reports.
The MPs stressed that Obongi is among the few districts in West Nile that has never been connected to the national grid, yet according to the policy of the government, every district headquarters have to be connected to the power. Honorable Dr. Boka George, the Member of Parliament Obongi District, said, "Power is what the people of Obongi need. saying the government policy is clear, therefore they are requesting through the Ministry of Lands, Housing, Planning and Urban Development to fast-track the issue of connecting Obongi to the national grid, saying at least before this year ends.
And as you know, Obongi is the only district in West Nile and Mari sub-region that has not yet been connected to the national grid. So we look forward to the World Bank grant on scaling up electricity access for districts that have not yet accessed the electricity to be able to ensure Obongi is prioritized. And the people of Obongi look forward to having electricity connected to Obongi through the electricity access scale-up project before the end of this year.
Honorable Maneno Zumra, the woman member of Parliament Obongi District, however, urged the public in Obongi to consider moving out of grass-thatched houses to permanent houses as they continue to advocate for the district to be connected to power, adding that if the people continue to remain in their grass-thatched houses, they will not be able to get the benefits of the power they are yearning for.
If you don't have a Mabat house on your compound, forget about electricity. These are realities and we have to tell you people. You will be seeing the electricity poles passing, they will come to the resource center, but in your home you don't have it. Let's move out of grass-thatched house to Mabat houses. Government is not going to do that for us.
Honorable Mario Bigakania, the State Minister for Lands, Housing, Planning and Urban Development, while responding to the demands of the members of Parliament, acknowledged that every district headquarter must be connected to power and said the members are right to demand for power, but however urged the public to work hard and be ready to pay for the electricity bills.
The wire will pass over your house. You will see a wire here. And you might say somebody has brought something to roger you. That is power. And when your neighbor is able to connect from there with the wire into his house and it is lighting, you will say these people are Illuminati or they went underwater. Kumbe, it is because you are not prepared for that wire to shine in your house. It will need some pesa.
And assured the public that the power is on its way to Obongi District.
How are you going to make sure that it arrives into your house and you're able to smile with your wife and with your husband? That's the only way. But power is coming. This one I can assure you, is coming.
Obongi District was carved out of Moyo District through the Act of Parliament in 2019. And since then, the district has never been connected to power, something which some of the members of the public feel is a deliberate move meant to frustrate them.
And you might say somebody has brought something to roger you. That is power. And when your neighbor is able to connect from there with the wire into his house and it is lighting, you will say these people are Illuminati or they went underwater. Kumbe, it is because you are not prepared for that wire to shine in your house. It will need some pesa.
And assured the public that the power is on its way to Obongi District is a deliberate move meant to frustrate them and keep them in darkness. Dominic Anthony Okumu, West Nile TV, Nilecast.
That marks the end of the Nilecast.